Hello and welcome to the Mental Music Podcast, a podcast made for teens by teens exploring mental health from our perspective. My name's Gordon.
And my name's Grace. Today we're having another special mini episode with an organisation called I Can, I Will, with the CEO Conan Visser.
A quick disclaimer before we begin, any advice that we do give should not be considered a replacement for professional medical advice.
And if you're suffering of any mental illness of your own, please go to our website where we have some very handy links and links to external sites, or talk to somebody that you know and trust.
Now, on to our interview.
Welcome to Mental Music, and today we're going to be talking to an organisation called I Can, I Will, and we'll be talking to Conan Visser in this. So Conan, tell us more about I Can, I Will.
So basically, I Can, I Will is a children's charity focused on making charity cool. And the reason why we do that is to influence a large amount of students to get involved and join our organisation. Part of their membership with our organisation gets them, it's basically where the ticket to make their dreams or careers come true. So we can give them anything from free tickets to events, to celebrity introductions, going around race car drivers in Lamborghinis and Ferraris, or we can give them intern opportunities at our corporate partners so we can make their career come true that way. Part of their membership requires them to mentor a younger student at the school. Mm-hmm. And then all they have to do is abide by our pledge, which is all for one and one for all. Now, each school that we do support, we support completely free of charge. We don't ask the students or parents or teacher for any money because we don't want money to get in the way of us making a cultural change within the school. Now, all for one and one for all, the backing behind that meaning is that if any single student is being bullied or anything is going on and they're in need on the playground, that every other student within our program must stand up for that one student. And then their student must stand up for the one group as well. So each school we are in, we ask for a minimum of 100 students involved. So 50 leaders mentoring 50 younger students at the school. Now, we do focus the attention to be of the mentees to be all children with special needs and any at risk to bridge the social indifferences within the school, and then unify the school to then empower the students themselves to change the culture of the school through power of numbers, not through a verbal or physical way.
All right, so how did you get involved in this?
I got involved. I met a little boy with special needs in 2010 who needed support. His parents were both doctors and they had the financial means to find him support, yet they couldn't find anyone. And they came to me as a last resort. At the time, I was just a business owner with supplement shops, waxing and tanning salons, and I did some personal training on the side. And that's how I was introduced to his parents. And I had no experience with anyone with special needs at all. Now, what we've done through research is we've found out that most adults without special needs are intimidated by those with. So when someone's looking for support, the general population are intimidated by someone with special needs and they shy away from the situation. Luckily enough, I wasn't intimidated and I just took him on and trained him 3 days a week. Through that experience, I personally had no magic, philosophy, or there was no training towards anyone with special needs. I was simply someone he looked up to who believed in him so he could believe in himself to realize his true potential in all facets of his life. Now, he went from a little 13 who hid behind his mother and his eyes started to welter at the thought of a physical challenge to now opening up my speeches in front of thousands.
Wow, that's amazing.
And yeah, it's amazing what he's done. He's still continuing to progress. He's also helping other people in his situation. But like I was saying before, there's no special, you don't have to be 50 years old with university degrees to simply believe in someone so they can believe in themselves. The program itself evolved over that time through other help and other mentorship that we got, and we've now come to realize our true potential, which is by making an organization that is everything that students either aspire to be or aspire to be like, which is considered to be successful or cool. We can then influence the greater population of each school to then get involved, follow an all for one and one for all mentality or pledge, and then eradicate any social issues on the playground themselves rather than rely on authority figures who, let's be honest, bullies don't respect them.
Yeah, I get that. And so when it comes to helping kids with special needs, what do you find is perhaps the hardest challenge for you to overcome in these schools?
We actually don't find really any hard challenges. The hardest challenge for us is sometimes a principal over the age of 50 who hates the young kids, the new kids on the block who don't like the new things. That's probably our biggest challenge, because they look at us and, just like you students would realise when sometimes teachers don't respect your opinion on improving the school grounds, we get the same within the education department. We get the same with corporate partners as well. I started the organisation, I was only 28 years old. I couldn't go around to principals and teachers who were much older than myself and expect them to respect my opinion. So what I thought is I'll start an organisation and prove ourselves through helping schools individually, and once we prove our numbers, then we'll keep on expanding. That's probably our biggest hurdle. Getting students to join is really easy, and getting them to mentor other students is really easy because we incentivise them. We say if you want to be run out onto the field of the Brisbane Roar, or you want to get an internship at PwC, you've got to mentor another child. You've got to abide by our core values. We don't stand for this. If you don't, you're gone. If not, we can open up those opportunities. And it's really simple, but our philosophy is empowering the students themselves to fix the problem and to take it upon themselves to do a good job. If they don't, they're not part of us. And if they do, we'll open up those doors for them. And it's really that easy.
Yeah. So just to clarify for our audience, so who is classified as the mentor group and who's classified as the tutor group, I guess?
It's simply by age. So in a primary school, we have grade 4, 5 and 6 mentoring the preps up to grade 3. In high school, it's the same thing. 10, 11 and 12 are mentoring the 7 to 10 mark. We don't discriminate between any special need, any race, or anything really, or any ability. It's purely, here's an opportunity, you want to get involved, great, we'll then pair you up. We don't choose the students who are being mentored. That's up to the school, because the school has a relationship. They know who needs mentorship, they know who needs support, they know some of the ones that aren't fitting in, some of the students whose attendance rates are quite poor, and those who are having a tough time at school.
Yeah, that's amazing what you do. So talking about more why you're in the business, when you were first encountered by this little boy at 13 years old, how did you find having to get along with him and having to train him? It must have been a huge leap in mentality to do that.
I just took an approach in which we push on to all of our area managers and all staff and all volunteers, is to treat them like an equal, to talk to him but let him come to me and talk to me as he pleases and as he wishes, not to force him out of it. Over the time, he became a client that I trained harder than any other client, because when I was a student at school, I would be lazy and try and get away with certain things, and he does the exact same thing regardless of his special need. He's like, I can't do this and I can't do that, and I wouldn't accept it. I'd say, no, yes you can do this, you can overcome these physical challenges, and he did, and he actually responded really well to that. It did take some time to build our relationship, but now he considers me like a brother, and he's like another family member.
That's fantastic.
Next up, we have a song by Lilia Vickers. It's called Open Your Eyes.
Why do you have to make things so complicated? The frustration going through my head, I just bloody hate it. Babe, can we get things straight here? I love you both, and that's right. I just hated how you both are loving to fight. But is there some way I can make things right? a bitch about her to me and only me. It's like you didn't listen when I set the speed. You kept on going faster, 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 pulling me into the drama right where I don't wanna be. I love you both and that's alright. I just hated how you both are loving to fight. But is there some way I can make things right? Is there any way to open up your eyes and but you keep pulling me, pulling me, pulling me. I can't stand no more, I just fall to the floor. I'm dying from all these lies you're telling me. I love you both and that's alright. I just hated how you both are loving to fight. But there's no way I can make things right. There's no way to open your eyes.
So welcome back from our fantastic song. So Kainan, a question for you. How do you think you affect your audience's mental health?
Basically, with mental health, Glasgow's first human need is to feel accepted and part of a group. And that's what we do, is we create a group that is all about inclusion and all about supporting one another. If students, the things that we affect in a playground and in a school is the things that we collect data on, which is, one, we reduce incident rates, which include all forms of bullying, verbal, physical, and emotional. So we reduce the incident rates per school. We therefore then decrease expulsions. We decrease suspensions. We therefore, when each student is having a better time on the playground, because it's a playground program, we therefore improve the life of a child's education. Their attendance rates go up, and therefore their child's scores go up. So if any student's having a lot more time, a lot more fun on the playground and is more accepted, they're generally happier. They're happier not just at school, they're happier more at home. They feel safer at school, feel safer at home as well, because they're not getting hassled on social media. Therefore, we're improving their mental health.
That's amazing. And so when you go to these schools, do you get many perhaps emails or feedback from the students telling you how much you changed their lives?
Yes, we do get quite a lot of feedback as well. That comes through the sessions that we have in each school, which is once a fortnight. We're currently facilitating programs on a fortnightly basis by an area manager, and the area manager's job on the first half of the session during lunchtime is to collect the stories and feedback from each student. So, a large part of basically the entire success of the program is not us being in the school. It's what the students do by themselves, and then they just report their progress back to us. And the feedback we get is quite amazing.
Yeah.
One of our goals is obviously to reduce youth suicide, because in the past 4 years, youth suicide has increased by 4 times, where there was just over 100 in 2012, and now there was over 450 last year. And we're seeing the results come through as well, with students coming back and saying, look, my average thought and my mentality was quite negative at the time, and since being involved with our Accountable program, it's been a lot more positive. My outlook on life is positive. And we get parents contact us as well, saying, we had a child that was coming home depressed, wouldn't talk to us, lock themselves in a room, to now helping out around the house and helping out, carry shopping where they've never done it before, and doing things just off their own back because they're generally a lot happier. So it is improving across the board, and we hope to then be responsible in the next generation to lower things like domestic violence and homelessness, because domestic violence comes from a bullying culture because it's accepted to be bullying. And what's the next step when you include things like alcohol and stuff, and that is in violence? And 70% of our homeless have special needs because they don't feel like they can be part of society and school. So when they leave school, they don't think they can be part of a working environment with someone without mental illness or without a special need. So the confidence to even go for a job is quite low. So we're hoping to bridge that gap as well and have a 10 to 15 year result of lowering those two.
Yeah, that's amazing. You guys should be really proud of you for achieving that. So what would you say is coming up in I Can, I Will? So what do you look for in the future of this business?
Basically, we've done our projections and our 5 and 10 year strategy, and to facilitate programs within a school by area managers is not sustainable. It sucks all of our resources, collecting the stories. We spend half of the lunchtime collecting stories, taking photos of the students who are doing a good job, writing them down on paper. Then the area manager puts that into an email format. They send that to head office. Head office then has to edit it and send it out to the parents and surrounding community and the school. It's a logistical nightmare. It sucks up all of our resources, and it's not sustainable. Our goal, we're currently building an app, and basically, in layman's terms, we're going to build an Accountable Facebook, that the only way that any student can get a profile is to be signed in through our program, who abide by our core values and our pledge and don't stand for bullying or online trolling. So it's a safe environment, but it's operational. Will be exactly like Facebook. You can upload photos and share stories, but the benefit is that you are going to be connected to every other student around Australia. You're going to see the stories being uploaded live through an iPad that's been implemented into every single school, and the students then get the ability to have 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks they have to log in, and they have to tag themselves and share a story via video, or for a deaf community they can take a photo and share the story through text. You can then see every other story around Australia. The goal is then there'll be closed groups of students per school, so you can just talk between yourselves as well. But let's say we have a 12 with mental illness, a single child of a parent, and then they're going on a holiday to Newcastle. Doesn't have any friends, but he knows he can go to the I Can, I Will social media and find some other people who are in our program in Newcastle and find friends no matter where he goes. So, and the parents know that's a safe environment because they do follow our core values and abide by the same pledge. Not just that, it then gives us the ability to be in any school in Australia within a week by just sending them out the iPad and the stand and the starter pack. The second goal towards that is we still realise we need to physically be in schools. So what we're doing is we're going to then Skype every school at the exact same time. One of our biggest influences is, being cool, knowing the celebrities, the entrepreneurs, driving the cars, basically being those cool guys that students aspire to be or be like. We will then find, through partnerships through Mushroom Records and Frontier Touring, find the biggest celebrity that we can find in Australia at the time to live Skype every single school at the same time. Then we'll pull out a short number of the best stories per week, per fortnight, and then we will get, let's say, Justin Bieber's in town now and Mushroom Records, and they own Frontier Touring, who tour him. Will set us up with a meeting where he will live Skype every single school. And let's say, what school, we have 2 students from your school that have done a great job. We'll pull them up and he'll ask them to come to the front of the camera and talk live to those 2 students. And he'll speak to a few others, which will basically give every other student around Australia FOMO because they want to speak live to someone like Justin Bieber. So that's going to push them to do a better job. So therefore, we're more effective with less resources using technology. plus also helping those rural schools. Now, that app, as you guys probably know, takes quite a while to develop and then pilot. So what we're doing in the meantime is we're starting an All for One and One for All social media campaign. We're getting people of high influence, so from people in the Broncos and Brisbane Roar and Brisbane Lions to people on social media that are really well known to post photos in I Can I Will singlets. We will then put them onto billboards, and those billboards will be displayed around the country. Then local politicians and mayors will be pushing this program into principals, and principals will then be showcasing this on assembly to students, giving students the ability to post a photo after they've helped another student in need, writing the story, tagging I Can I Will Australia with the hashtag All for One and One for All. The best students and stories per week per shire will then be put live directly onto billboards. They'll get a framed photo of that. And then the best students per shire per term will then be brought in with the other students per shire and be given a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to meet our celebrity ambassadors, to be run onto the field with the Roar or the Lions or the Broncos, go out in race cars. Each school holiday will be a different incentive and a different prize, to then go into competition to become the I Can I Will All for One and One for All ambassador for the year, which will be presented at an award show at the end of the year in December in the school holidays. And the winner of that will get public speaking training. They will be the ambassador for the next year. They'll have a full marketing campaign built around them. They'll also be able to speak at our events and meet all of our celebrity ambassadors and fly around the country, and then also get intern opportunities at our corporate partners.
Amazing.
So that's how we're going to, basically change the culture of the school prior to the app being in there.
Yeah, well, best of luck for trying to implicate this. It's hard work, but I reckon once you implicate it, it'll be amazing.
Yeah.
So just before we wrap up, what do you think is a good philosophy for our audience to take on when encountering or being people that perhaps have a mental illness or are special needs, like on the spectrum, or bullied at school or online? So what do you think? Yeah, what do you think is a good philosophy for these kids and other people around them to take on?
I think the best philosophy, if you are being bullied or going through a tough time, is to speak to your friends, but speak to your friends open and honestly. There are the neighbouring charities that say, have a slogan where it isn't weak to speak, and I truly believe in that. The support comes from your friends and comes from power of numbers. We try and hold our pride up and try and deal with the problems ourselves, not trying to be a burden on someone else, and that fuels our depression and fuels the mental illness. Whereas if you speak open and honestly to your friends and to your support network, they respect it and it's a sign of strength. And then if they can work together to support one another, you'll become a lot more powerful than any 1 or 10 bullies. And then to support one another. If you see another student being bullied, don't just stand back and watch. Go up, and you don't have to actually confront the bully or anything. Just go grab them and say, hey, come and sit with me. Bully's outnumbered, they fix the problem. You don't need to worry about being bullied yourself. Is to go and support one another. Also, too, one of the things, if you are struggling yourself, one of the best ways is to help others. When you help others, you listen to yourself and you start to realise what you're going through, and it helps yourself. Helping others helps yourself.
Yeah, that's an amazing mentality, and at Mental Music we really love to put that out to everyone who's listening, and it's just been amazing talking to you and about I Can I Will. Is there anything else that you wanted to add about I Can I Will?
No, just if you want to support us and get involved and get the opportunities, just follow our social media, which is at I Can I Will Australia, or head to the website icaniwill.org.au. If you do posts and you share the All for One and One for All campaign, we'll certainly reward you, and the possibilities to go onto billboards and meet celebrities and get intern opportunities are definitely there. Don't be shy. Everyone that's involved with our organisation, from CEOs and partners of PwC to players of the Brisbane Roar to anyone in our organisation, are all approachable, and they all follow that same mantra. So reach out to us or start following us, and if you really want to get on board, start sharing it.
Amazing. Thank you for your time.
No, thank you.
thanks for listening today. So if we said anything wrong or that offends you, please contact us and we'll try to rectify our mistakes. I hope you enjoyed listening to Conan Visser, as he had some really nice insights onto his group and what they do.
And as always, remember, if you have any music that you'd like to share with us for us to play on our podcast, please send it to us through our social links at Mental Music Pod, and we'll be sure to include it on the podcast.
Yeah, and for our social links, just find us at Mental Music Pod or on Instagram at Mental Music Podcast. It's super easy.
Okay.
Thanks for listening.
Okay.